Okay, welcome. It is Tuesday. You know what that means? Farm Tip or Farm Tool Tuesday. This is just a time for me to share either tips, tricks, little tools, big tools, whatever things that I use on a pretty frequent basis here, or things that I have learned in doing this as a market farmer. It's totally trash or treasure. If I have physical tools that I'm sharing, I will absolutely try and post links down in the comment or the section down below, so you guys can go check those out if that's something you're interested in. A lot of the things that we use, if you're doing this on a small scale in your backyard, or you have raised beds, or you're interested in starting a small garden, a lot of the smaller tools are going to be ones that would be beneficial for you to have. So I hope you stick around, take some time to watch through some of these videos. By all means, let me know if what I'm sharing is something that's interesting or something that you could see yourself using. We love getting comments and interactions from our viewers. So with that said, let me take you on to our first farm tool of the week. This is a greens harvester. We are using it this morning to harvest baby leaf romaine. So the way it works, this drill hooks here, and if you can see, it's got this serrated blade that goes back and forth, and then it's got these ropes that spin like so. And what this does is, as I'm passing through a bed, it will cut the leaves off at the base, and these ropes spit everything back into my little collection bin back here. So I'll show you how that works. Okay, this is actually an old video clip that I found of me harvesting, I think, baby kale, beginning of our season this year, and I just did a short video on how the greens harvester works. I'm explaining how the ropes spin everything back into that collection bin. I can then put it in my tote, which I have off to the side, and I just do a real quick demonstration of me running this greens harvester across the bed. There's some of my baby kale getting put into my collection bin, and then you see the full harvested product. Okay, so this is our quick cut greens harvester. You saw a little bit of how it's used out in the field, but this is what we use to harvest all of our baby leaf greens. So any of our baby leaf salad mix, baby leaf kale, baby leaf romaine, anything that's going to be harvested at the first true leaf stage for like small spring mix, that kind of stuff. This is what we use. It's a huge time saver for us. If you are somebody who's farming like on a very, very small scale, like just for you and a couple other families, or if you have a backyard garden and you're doing lettuce, you probably don't need a tool quite like this. But for us, with how large scale we've become with the greens, it's a must-have. I've never timed it, I should, but I can go through and cut a full bed of baby leaf greens in a matter of minutes, whereas if I was doing it by hand, it would take me hours. And the way this works, again, I showed a little bit of this out in the field already, but the way it works is a drill gets hooked here. It works with any drill, just fits in there like when you would use a drill bit. It slides right on there, and then that's what spins the rope mechanism and the blade down here. These ropes spin this way, and as the blade moves side to side and cuts your greens, the ropes toss everything into this collection bin, which then I can take and dump into my harvest tote. The blade is incredibly sharp. I have accidentally bumped up against it before. I was wearing sandals and not paying attention, and I just nicked the tip of my toe harvesting one morning. Oh my goodness, it bled everywhere. It was a huge mess. I just stopped everything, bandaged myself, take this in, wash it, clean it, sanitize it. I did that twice because I was so worried it had stuff on it, but it's very sharp. We have a guard for it somewhere. It's MIA. I don't know if one of the kids took it, but we're very careful after that experience. We're very careful with how it's stored, who handles it, where it's put, all that stuff. So I have rinsed this once already, but now it's time to go ahead and sanitize it. When we're washing any of our tools that we use for harvesting, we use a product called Sanidate. the label ripped off this, so I wrote Xanadate on it. But you mix it with water. It's a vinegar-based, food-safe cleaner, so you can use it for anything that's going to be touching food products. We also use it to clean all of our hard surfaces, our sinks, our bubbler, or anything that's going to be touching food. So all I do after I rinse it and spray it off the hose, I come through here, spray off the blade, spray off the bottom really good. And then I usually let that soak in for a bit, take my wash rag, make sure everything's wiped down really well, any dirt particles are removed, and then I rinse it one more time with water. While I was showing you that, I'm going to point out the pulley system because I just removed it. This is what turns everything. And I've had this break on me in the field, and it usually takes me a good minute to figure out exactly which way it needs to be threaded through. I am not a visual person. My husband's great at it. Whitney can come out and go, oh, hey, this needs to look like this, or this needs to go that way. My brain just doesn't work that way. So, but I think, looking at this. Yeah, there we go. Fun times. Okay. Turn this way. So we can get this side of the blade. Okay, I think I'm going to get really lucky. I can kind of see where it needs to be routed. Haha, this top piece around this loop comes into here around this base piece and then around and back up through here. So, yeah, there are times where frequently I have to sit and go, oh, wait a minute, which way does this go? How did... I'm not a visual person, but whew, I got it fixed. Didn't have to look anything up. And this guy is... Anyways, I'm going to let this finish sitting, and I'm going to rinse it off and then hang it up to dry. We wash this thing and sanitize it in between, or excuse me, before and after every use, so we know it's always clean and ready to go. This guy just hangs up here. He's got a little side rack that he hangs out on, air dries, and then he's ready to go for the next time we need to use it.